Okay, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thanks all for coming on this early Sunday morning. I hope you guys didn't drink so much yesterday. I'm still sharp to pay attention because it's it's a lot of content. So if you watch the agenda on the side, you probably see Tom. I'm not Tom, I'm Christiaan. So I replace him. He's unfortunately sick, so he couldn't make it. And I'm part of VMware Pro, and Login VSI reached out to me to replace him. So I made some changes. So the title is now The Secrets of Optimizing Windows 10, 1809 in Office. And I as well mentioned some Meltdown and Spectre results as well. So it's all covered in this session. And as you know, I only have 30 minutes, so I'm a bit in a hurry. So first of all, I'm Christiaan. If you don't know me, I'm active in several communities. My website, part of VMware Pro. If you want to follow me, please connect on Twitter, Brinkhoff_C. And I work as a cloud architect and evangelist for Apps Logic. And I live in the Netherlands, land of tools, windmills, and the famous stroopwafels. So who likes stroopwafels over here? Okay, cool.
You give it all first? Yes.
Yeah, normally I gave, but I have now something exclusive over there. So VMware Pro is a community program of 3 people, Mark Plattenberg, Ruben Sprout, and me. And this session is now given by me in Athens. It's given by Mark in Barcelona, and probably by Ruben right now for his kids. So they're probably a bit bored to hear it. So Windows 10, 1809, and all the previous versions, as well as Windows Virtual Desktop. So we did some tests, and we want to share it with you guys. But first, I want to share the lab. So we have a lab available with Dell PowerEdge systems, and that's the landing platform where we test our login VSI measurements, and as well with the normal launches, controllers, and normal infrastructure as well. So how did we test? So who's familiar with the VSimax? Do you all know what it is? Or so for the people that don't know it, the VSimax is the breaking point of the system when you measure with login VSI. So when you launch all the sessions to the virtual machine, then you have like a breaking point that the performance degradation takes place. And when you reach that point, that's the VSimax. That's the maximum that you guarantee the best performance on that virtual desktop environment. And good to say, when you reach that, all the other sessions will be affected as well. So you need to stop at that amount of sessions to allow to the system. So that's called the VSimax. So you probably don't want to have that in your environment. Then probably your end users will react like this and destroy the computer. You just want to be confident about your environment and want to know the numbers that can land on your platform. So be proactive, and know the numbers of your sizing of your environment. So all our VDI machines that we run the test on are optimized with the VMware optimization tool, as well as with the Citrix optimization optimizer tool. So it's all bringing down to the lowest services possible that needs to run on that machine. So looking at all the different builds of Windows 10, starting with 1607, 1703, 1709, and then the 1803, and now the newest one, 1809, you see a degradation. And the first one is obviously because of Meltdown and Spectre, so that are the patches that needed to solve that vulnerability in that process of Intel, but more on that later on. And 1809 has a degradation as well. And be like, it's a new build, and we didn't see that when you look at the previous results. Like it's like 14 sessions, 14 users, just by updating Windows 10. So the reason for that is OneDrive. So OneDrive is causing a huge amount of CPU load in the new Windows 10 build. And when you look at the CPU utilization during the test, this is the first build, the second, the third, the fourth, 1809, and 1809 without OneDrive. So you see like a huge difference without OneDrive installed on that machine. So that's, yeah, pretty strange why. So we got an average logon time. Just put them up. You see that the breaking point of when a user is affected by a process of the logon duration starts without OneDrive here and with build 1809 over there. So it's a difference of 16 sessions. So that's huge. So let's make it a little bit faster. So that disabling OneDrive, that affected CPU, was very active in the community as well. So we had a reaction from Martin Sujak, which is the creator of the Citrix Optimizer tool. And he said that Microsoft released an update for this, and that probably solved that issue, but it didn't. So other reactions as well from Hilco, which is the creator of the optimization tool from VMware. He's building the same like optimization template for this problem. And Christiaan reacted as well, but we didn't understand it. It was like trail optimization tool. What is it? So you probably mentioned the Michael Jackson trail optimization tool. But when we asked that to him, he didn't turn off the Dutch grammar control, so it was a mistake. So Windows 10 18 online is not online anymore. So there were some bugs. Data was deleted by several reasons, and they don't know yet. So they're working on a bug fix right now. So you cannot download Windows 10 anymore, as well as Windows Server. So we need to wait to continue. So Windows 10 multi-user. We probably all heard that news. And first, before Ignite, there were rumors in the community because the session as well was gone. It was not available in the insiders preview, and that sort of like created a rumor that a server host was not available and will be replaced by Windows 10 multi-user. So eventually, that didn't happen. But the multi-user part released, or not released, but announced during Ignite, and will be released in 2019, early 2019. So regarding the Windows Virtual Desktop, that's a new offer from inside Microsoft Azure, from a DAS perspective, so from a control plane managed by Microsoft, and you only manage your images inside Azure, so a new approach, a new space where Microsoft is active in. But regarding density, users, what happens on our Windows 10 multi-user, new OS, new kernel way of approaching users on a desktop machine? So where does it fit? Does it probably end somewhere between Windows Server multi-user, or does it end at the VDI side? So we ran some tests on an insider's preview of the multi-user, which was then named Enterprise for remote sessions. Windows 10 Enterprise for remote sessions is now changed to Windows 10 Enterprise for virtual desktop. But what we saw is that there's no limitation active on that OS, so you can like do the sessions that you want. It's not like it's limited to 10 or 15 sessions or something. But what we saw is like the same OneDrive problem. So you see the VSimax ending at 36, but we probably can end up like around 99. So that's the same problem at Windows 10 single user 1809. So they probably fixed that. Microsoft is working on a fix with OneDrive for that. So, and in the meantime, you can disable OneDrive or just kill up to avoid that sizing problem in your environment. So regarding Windows Server 2019, that ISO is as well offline, but we have the ISO in our lab so we can test it. So regarding 2016 and 2019, you see another very huge degradation in users. So it's like 1-2%. So it's not very worth mentioning probably. So that's good to know. Looking at the CPU visualization, it's almost similar. Same for Office 2019. So, Office in a virtual desktop. Who heard the news that only 2019 will be supported for Office Professional 2019? So that's a huge change. So who's using Office Professional plus Office 365 in their environment with the online activation? Okay. So that will be the next step for the rest. So Windows 10 multi-user only supports Office 365 Pro Plus, and Server 2019 supports the normal perpetual licensing with KMS, for example. But single user Windows 10 only supported for Office 365 Pro Plus. So the new licensing model through Office 365. So that's a good thing in adopting even more Office 365 services. But probably if you have KMS servers and you use that approach in non-persistent environments, that's a change. So you need to be aware of that. And when you see the product update cycle of Microsoft, they completely stop with that. So they only continue with Office 365 Pro Plus on virtual desktops. So be aware of that. Make this as a note or something for yourself. And if you have like Office 2019 installed on Server 2019, they have now a policy available that makes it possible to instantly upgrade, or whatever you want to call it, to Office 365 Pro Plus. So no need to reinstall the application, just change this policy and you're good to go. And another thing that you need to keep in mind is the activation part of Office 365 Pro Plus, because it's not KMS. So it's activating through the user account of Office 365. So when you take the approach of ADFS, single sign-on, and placing that token on a separate location, you can make it work on a non-persistent environment as well. So regarding the VDI Pro survey, we see some difference as well in changing from the perpetual KMS to Office 365. So it's like 30% of Office 365 and 20% of the normal perpetual KMS Office. So yeah, we see some changes over there, so people know of the difference, so that's good. So regarding Office 2019, what do you think? Does it perform better? So will the density become bigger on that environment or lower? Is it lower?
Yeah, lower.
Who thinks lower? Who thinks higher? It's higher. So
wow.
it's almost the same, but it's a little bit higher. So, but the good thing to know is that there's no degradation. So, and taking that on the CPU side, you see like a small difference. So the green one is 2019, so it's a little bit lower about CPU commuting. But talking about Meltdown and Spectre, that's probably the reason why you are here, because that was part of the agenda.
The time is also.
Yeah. No, I have 50 minutes. So Spectre and Meltdown is the vulnerability from inside the CPU of Intel. So probably all the CPUs of the last 20 years were affected, and as well VMware and Citrix, all the hardware providers created updates for that, as well as Microsoft on the operating system. So the approach to clean that vulnerability, you need to do the microcode updates, the hypervisor fix, and the Microsoft patches. So what is the impact of that on VMware ESXD 6.5? So on the left side, that's just the clean one. After applying the Microsoft patches, you see a little bit of a degradation. after applying the hypervisor patches, you see another huge degradation, and in the end, you see like 32% degradation when you apply the Spectre or Meltdown patches. So it's good to know when you're on ISP or using a shared data center platform and you do this. And you don't increase your resources, then you're probably in a problem with your customers. So there's a new vulnerability detected not so long ago in August, which is called the L1 terminal fault of Forshaw. And that is sort of like a similar vulnerability as Meltdown and Spectre is. But yeah, it's a new one, but it can detect as well the memory and take advantage of passwords, for example. So it's a used thing and you need to take care of that. So VMware's fix for that is a patch. You can apply that. But to keep in mind, when you apply that, the VMware expects to have a degradation of 30% when you apply that patch.
On top of the other 30%.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but it's percentage of percentage.
Yeah, it's not 60. It's only 50%.
Exactly. So he didn't drink yesterday, probably. He's still sharp. Citrix hypervisor recommends to disable hyperthreading, but that's not a solution, in my opinion. Very bad. So they didn't bring out a patch yet to solve this. So looking at Server 2016, applying that patch without and with the mitigation enabled, it's -10, and Windows 10, it's -30 users.
What about Hyper-V impact?
We didn't test it yet. No. So you can reach out to me and I can share probably in the next 3 weeks that as well. So. But remember, assumption is the mother of all Fargos. So that was my presentation. Thank you all.